Good morning, my fellow designers and vloggers. So here we are again, and today we are off to the kitchen supplier. The lovely Cullen is awaiting us, and we're going to be discussing kitchens and bathrooms with him for the new job which is coming up in Sloane Square. I spoke to the client yesterday, so she's been looking at lots of different things online, getting some ideas together for what she would like, which is always a good start. Always ask your client if they have any pictures, because this will guide you. Nothing can go wrong faster than when you're talking about the same thing but you're on different tracks. So that's where we're going first of all. Then we're heading over to the Chelsea job. Just coming over with the carpet fitter Lee, who wants to stick down a few more bits and bobs. This often happens with removals. When you have people moving boxes and things, they can loosen carpet that has just been put down, especially carpet that was cold. So remember, if you remember, our carpet was in the garage for some time, rolled up quite safely, but carpet, a bit like flooring, solid wood flooring, needs to be acclimatized. So that's where we're going today. I would think around about 2 o'clock. So we have a reasonably quiet morning with the kitchen supplier, which will all be good, and then one client to do, and then it's home for more video editing for you guys. Let's get started with the day. It's quite cold here in London. Almost all the leaves are off the trees, and we're just about to walk into the kitchen supplier, so hopefully it'll be nice and warm in there. Hello.
Hi Belinda.
How are you?
Yeah, we're just having a morning review with the gentlemen. Yes, someone's got to warm them up. They're so nice. They're illuminating our lights.
Illuminating your life?
Yeah, on the street every day. I really
This is fantastic.
And of course, as you go around sort of the kitchens, you can see all the different things that you can see. So these are fantastic doors for a kitchen unit, and obviously you've got sinks and everything below. It's great actually going to these sorts of places. So I think Cullen's going to shut these doors, these Louvre doors, these Louvre cupboard doors, which are just great. This is just it's actually white glass, which you can sort of just about see. There are a sort of reflection there, but it's a great thing. And actually inside, once you open it, we have there's actually LED lights at the back, which is causing this effect on the actual shelving. You can see the blue lights there. So right at the back there, that's where all the lights are coming through, shining right to the front. It's a really good look. Well, something I've been meaning to use in one of my kitchens. And of course, down below you get all the different stonework. It's what you find in normal kitchen suppliers. So they have all the units and all the cabinets that you can try, different doors, how they open, and also of course all the new doors. So these are stacks of the doors here you see here, sinks, worktops, catalogues. It's a full sort of working office. This is shortly before they move into their new showroom, which is being built at the moment. But it's great to see everything all in working order. And this is a possible front of a cupboard for either a bathroom or a kitchen cabinet. It's raised, and this is the copper that I've been coveting for quite some time. Haven't had a chance to use it yet, but I think I'll put that into a kitchen sooner or later. So it goes on. So there's things to remember here. The first thing is take your tear sheets with you. You need to use visuals to explain your ideas to your supplier. And ask them what is new. I mean, let them educate you. They know what's coming in. You can't be aware of everything. Let them do a lot of the work for you. Thirdly, finishing touches, taps, put extra sockets in, all those sorts of things. And finally, be practical. It's not your kitchen, it's theirs. You need to be able to use this kitchen practically at all times.
6.
Right, I'm recording.
When am I going to feature in one of your... Or I've already featured in one of
No, I don't know that you've actually featured. This is the lovely Cullen. Here we are. Hello. See, Cullen reads upside down.
For sure, yeah. Boiled up to shorthouse.
It's much easier.
Okay,
It's good.
very good.
Right, I'll leave you to it. So I'm going sailing out the door. Off to the next job. So I will see you next week.
Tuesday.
Next week. Fabulous.
Bye.
Thanks, my dears. So that was the lovely Cullen. So we managed to get quite a few things done. Lots on the bathrooms. It takes a lot of time actually putting all this stuff together. So hopefully we would have got what we needed. It's going to look actually pretty fabulous. The next bit is going to be convincing the client, but we're going to do that by photographs because most clients are not able to envisage what things are like, so you need to show them stuff. So that's what we're going to do. So it's actually going to be more of a visual thing for them. So now it's off to the Chelsea house to meet up with Lee to do a few carpet repairs, and I need to go through the lighting to make sure that we have all we need for the final snagging list for the Chelsea house. So welcome back to the Chelsea job. Here we are again, and today we're going to be looking at snagging. Now, snagging is one of those jobs that needs to be done after a project has finished. It can happen really at any time, but you really want to give the clients a little bit of time to actually be in the property to see all the little nooks and crannies and lots of different things that need to be addressed before the project is totally and utterly 100% finished. Now, I have my trustee list, which is here, so I'm going to be going through that. That has actually been drawn up, a combination between me and the client. He's made his list, I've made mine. Most of my things, my early snagging list entries were actually addressed by the builders very, very quickly. So this is now really just a little bit of where the paintwork needs to touch up, different sort of like handles and knobs need to be retightened, that type of thing. So let's get started. One of the items on this list is hallway, left-hand side, some bubbles on the white paint. Now, the only white paint that's really in here, apart from the ceiling, is actually the woodwork here, which is just dotted around on the dado rail. So this obviously goes right up there, and there's also more of it on the other side. So I'm not quite sure where this paintwork is. So this is one of the things which I need to check with the client. Sort of, and you'll have to ask them left-hand side coming in or left-hand side coming out. One of the other items here is one of the things which I showed you before, which is stairway, chipped paint on most of the steps at the bottom. To be fair, there's actually chipped paint on most of the stairs going up, and this is due to the carpet man. When they actually put the stair runner in, I think I might have told you what they tend to do is to actually hammer this stuff in right in these, literally into this section. And because they use something to go in, what you have is you have these breakages. And these sort of breakages are something which needs to be obviously dealt with, but they are pretty much all the way up the stairs. So we are going to have a look of that on, I think, at the weekend when the builders are back in touching up all the paintwork. And the next one is the cloakroom, which I think everybody loves. This is the cloakroom with its House of Hackney wallpaper, and on this list is wallpaper above the window has some marks. I think they're looking at this. This is obviously quite a common occurrence sometimes when you're smoothing things into place. So I don't know whether you can kind of sort of see that. You probably can. So that would mean, depending on where this is the edge of the paper over here, I can just about see it. You might not be able to see it with the naked eye, but it means that would have to come in there. So it literally would be just basically this section here and here, so it's just that bit, and you'd have to fold that in. The problem is that how the decorating is done, we've actually protected it by this bit on the inside, which means that it would affect, just taking that out would affect all of this. This is a question for the decorators to see exactly how best to actually remedy this particular problem. So the next bit is downstairs here in the basement. So everything looks all right in there. Let's go into the kitchen and see what's going on here. I don't think there's too much going on in here. There's a few things. The pull-out tap, not quite sure what's happened there. This is something that happens when clients actually use items, appliances, different things for the first time. So this is a particular tap, if you remember it's on and that doesn't go back in. I'm not quite sure why. You're supposed to hold it. I think it should go back in and it should hold like this, and it seems to be dropping out. There's probably a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. We shall see. Into the utility room, just stepping over a few items. We have a few things on here. Can we paint the wall on the right in white? It looks a little bit unfinished. And I think this is going to be the wall which is just down here. So I think the reason why we're looking at that is we can see just a few obvious marks down here. So this is just again a touch-up of paint, which is not too bad. He's also actually recommended or asked for this to be covered, which actually will be covered, so that's not quite finished yet. There's a few more things to go on, so the electrician will be sorting this out. This is all where the components are for each of the different lighting system and all the electrics in the house. To be honest, in this room I think there's actually a bit more to do than anything else. I think I'd actually quite like to repaint this entire thing. There's just a few marks and everything else that it could probably do with an extra going over. The thing about when you're sort of building joinery is unless you've actually got something which is laminate or has been spray painted, the actual paint itself can actually soak into the actual wood, into the plasterboard, into the chipboard itself, which often gives it it can actually give it quite a nice finish. But in this particular case I think it's just become more absorbent, so I think we just need another coat of paint. Maybe even a silk paint would do to actually make this look a little bit more finished off.
Now these are the basement stairs going up, so what they've noted here is they just want something smoothed out, and I think, as far as I know, it's not going to be this nosing here, it's going to be along here, so I think this is the bit they want to just smooth out as much as possible. It's amazing what clients see, so there's a few bits and bobs I want to sort of tackle, just the really obvious bits of paintwork, and of course there's going to be loads as you sort of head up the stairs as well. So you're just looking for everything as you're going along. You're looking at the straightness of runners, you're looking at paintwork, you're looking for things out of place, just little things that will just draw your eye quite naturally. You'll get used to these as you go along, but it's certainly something to learn as you go.
Next up on the list here is the children's bathroom. So let's go and have a look at those. Those are up here. Everything looking good. Notice how you tend to actually have to have a look at all the different paintwork. I haven't got the lights on here, so you're sort of seeing it in what's left of the daylight. But it's all looking good. There's a few things that need to be done. There's a turnkey that needs to be changed down here. I'll show you that in a moment. Let's do that. And that. What's going on up there? Right. So this is the children's bathroom. And as you can see here, this is a corner and we have some tiles. So the tile obviously edges here. Now you can get specific edging to go down this. It does, however, look a little bit unsightly. So this has actually been agreed beforehand. So it's not been done. So what needs to happen is that just a little bit of paint, white paint just gets put down there to make that all neat, and then it will just look seamless. And you don't even need an edging to put on that. But that's something for the builders to do, the decorators to do this weekend. The other thing that needs to be done, which I just noticed, and these are the turnkey. So these are the turn locks for the bathrooms. This is a turn lock for the bathroom. So it looks like that on the outside. And obviously you've got the strike plate here, and that's what it looks like, which you may have seen before on the outside. Now they should be this colour, and there's two of them which are downstairs. So this just needs to get sorted at the weekend as well. And there's two of these. One for this particular bathroom here and one for the guest room, which I'll show you in a moment. So here we are in the guest bedroom, everything looking good up here. I've just had a quick look in the bathroom, which is behind me. That also, as you can see, needs another lock just sorted out there, which is actually already arrived, so that's downstairs, so that's all good. Everything else up here, there's a few things that I wanted to check. I don't know what, I've just seriously seen something up here, and actually on one of these. Oh, it's a key. The key for the locks. I thought, what's that doing? What are these doing? What are these doing here? This is what happens when clients move in and you return to the scene of the crime, as I call it, and you suddenly sort of find things. But this is so that the children don't lock themselves in. clearly. There we are, those can sit back up there, safe where we left them. Lights off, and back down we go for a moment. There's obviously night lights on down here, which is good. It's something that the client has requested to go in. You can get these from all places, so it just means that when the light is off, it just works on a sensor. So you can just have these put in. There's quite a few of them on the market, get them from eBay, Amazon, there's quite a few of them. All looking good so far. It's funny when you go through a house and you try and go through a house that you've actually been in before, and you try and work out whatever happened about this, whatever happened about that. There's generally so much that's going on in your mind that you forget when wasn't this supposed to happen, wasn't that supposed to happen, or things that you've asked to happen, you want to go around and see whether things actually did turn up. There's a few things that are still missing, some things which the client orders, such as handles and things, so they're sort of missing in action, but they'll come in due course. We're coming up to Christmas now, so I'm quite sure everybody wants to get their deliveries in as soon as possible. As soon as they do, we'll get everything put on the doors and it will be completed. So, just finished at the Chelsea house, all well there. Brilliantly saw the client, which was fantastic. So we've got a good idea of what's happening with the curtains and the blinds. Also on furniture, lots of questions answered, which was great. Everything to do with sockets, little issues they're having with carpets, little remedial actions that need to be done. It's always good to meet the other side of a husband and wife team again to go through everything, just in case the other member of the team has missed anything. So I'm very happy with that. She's very happy. Children are happy. Marvellous. All good. So tomorrow I've got a few things in the diary, and then on Thursday we are off to the Reading job for a few more bits and bobs going on there. Should be exciting. One of the other things that has come up, lots of deliveries, schedules moving around. You know that the infamous sideboard that was due to turn up for the Reading job didn't actually turn up due to a broken van. Yes, yet another excuse, although that one's quite an old one. I've heard lots more interesting excuses, as I'm sure you know. I could do a whole post on the different excuses I've heard over the years for the reason of non-deliveries. But that is due in. It may be later on the Thursday when I'm there this week, or actually maybe on the Friday. We shall see. I can't be in two places at once, so the sideboard may have to come in without me. We shall see.